Hi, this is Dr. Leslie Allen, and today we're going to talk about my favorite topic, which is stress. And honestly, if you're not managing your stress, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be on the best supplements, you can be eating the best, most organic, healthiest, yummiest food, tons of color. You can be doing the best exercise regimen, but if you're not managing your stress, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be better than eating garbage and being stressed out all the time. But truly, I want to talk about the gut-brain axis today. It's just one of the most unbelievable things that occur. For so long, we used to think that stress and anxiety actually contributed to ulcers or gut issues, chronic diarrhea, IBS. But now we know that it is oftentimes the other way around. So if we have a gut disturbance, a dysbiosis, it can eat up the tiny little building blocks that make up our neurotransmitters, our dopamine, our serotonin, our epinephrine and norepinephrine. Those are that adrenaline rush. Our serotonin is responsible for mood stabilization, for perception of pain, and different things like that. So let's talk about stress. Let's talk about how it influences the body. What happens when we're placed in a stressful situation? When we have a stressful situation, there's an area of the brain, it's called the amygdala. And it's going to be the first to perceive stress. And when it perceives stress, it's then going to set off what's called the HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And this is going to release a whole cascade, a hormone cascade that ultimately is going to dump cortisol into our bloodstream from the adrenal glands. The cortisol, once it's released, is going to go back and it's going to tell the hypothalamus, like, okay, we've got this, we've set off the whole system, so norepinephrine and epinephrine are being released, that adrenaline rush, that increased heart rate, kind of clammy skin, your respiratory rate, your breath rate, it increases. It takes blood away from the gut, pushes it toward the larger muscles because it's a time. It's also going to activate what's called the sympathetic nervous system, so fight and flight. So that sympathetic nervous system is actually, it's going to be a time where we need to mobilize energy to get the heck out of Dodge. But oftentimes, we're just thinking about stress. Maybe we're replaying that conversation that we had with our boss. Maybe a project that we are working on, the deadline just got pushed up rather than back, and we're concerned that we're not going to be able to get it done. And so we're getting hit with these chronic levels of stress all day long, but yet we're not going anywhere. We're not running, we're not fighting. So what is happening to all this glucose that's getting dumped into our bloodstream? Well, once it's not utilized, then it has to be taken back up by the cells. And typically what happens is your body, because you're still not in, your brain still does not think that you're protected. So you don't go back into this nice homeostasis because you're getting hit time and time again with stress. So your body says, let's store that energy around the waistline and adipose tissue. We'll store it right around the waistline, the visceral fat, because we can access that significantly quicker then we can access it from other places in the body. In which we now know that that visceral fat is significantly linked to many chronic diseases. So back in the day, they used to say, you know, heart disease, it's linked to high-fat diet. So they put us on the low-fat diet. Everything was low-fat, fat-free. And then we saw the diabetic epidemic. Everybody became diabetic because all of those low-fat, fat-free foods had high sugar content to make them still taste good. And so then everybody developed diabetes, and guess what? We still had not influenced heart disease at all. It was still kicking. Everybody, you know, same percentage. It was probably getting worse at that point. And so what they've now come to realize that many of these chronic diseases are oftentimes affiliated with high stress levels. Chronic stress creates chronic inflammation, a low level of inflammation that floats around our body, fueling other disease processes. Maybe not even full-blown disease processes yet. Maybe you just have like a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of inflammation in your knee or your hip. And so it just floats around enough until it's a full-blown osteoarthritis case. So this is where it's so important that we are doing things in order to manage our stress levels. And it doesn't take medication. It takes time. And that's oftentimes people aren't willing to give their time to learn how to do these things, but that's what it takes. It takes time. What we know is meditation and deep breathing are one of the most powerful and effective tools, not at decreasing stress, but decreasing your arousal to stress, changing your perception of stress. That's the key. It's making you realize when you're in a stress situation that you have two choices. You can react to the stress, or you can see the stress and understand that it's there and know that you're going to implement a strategy to get through it without it impacting your overall health in a physiological way. So that's the number one most important thing. A lot of times with our deep, relaxed breath, okay, let me tell you how that works from a physiological standpoint, because this is what I do with my clients. This is what I do in my program that I honestly think stands my program apart from the others, is the fact that I'm a professional yoga therapist. I have a certification in Ayurveda and applying yoga as medicine, applying specific breath works. Not every breath work is going to work for you, right? You can't tell a person with anxiety, just go do some meditation. It's not going to work. You have to learn how. You have to understand which breath is going to be best given your particular situation. So anyhow, the way that this works from a physiological standpoint is that the nerve that innervates the diaphragm, it attaches onto what's called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is what's responsible for the upregulation of our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, before I said that stress, it's going to activate two different things. One is the HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, that's the hormone cascade, and the other is the sympathetic nervous system. That's our fight and flight. That's a part of the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is made up of the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and these work like a teeter-totter. From the childhood, I don't even know if teeter-totters exist anymore on playgrounds, but anyhow, a perfect example: when your sympathetic is high, your parasympathetic is low. When the parasympathetic is high, the sympathetic is low. So by slowing the breath down to at least a 6-second inhale followed by a 6-second exhale, you can actually cause the upregulation of that vagus nerve. And that's going to push that parasympathetic, the rest and relaxation, the digestion, the absorption of nutrients, our state of healing, health, wellness, protection, nurturing the body can all be achieved by doing that. So as well as we're going to then, when you get into this state, this deep relaxed state, you can start to really notice. You gain control over your anxiety, and once you can learn the confidence in doing that, you can learn how you can be in control when you get out of control. It's a very powerful tool. It does take practice. It's a skill. So it's not something that you just get by sitting down for 5 minutes and doing it. You do have to practice it. You do have to commit to it. Now, a few other things that have been shown through research to be powerfully effective stress management tools are gratitude. So expressions of gratitude, having a gratitude journal, writing down what you're grateful for, reminding yourself of the beautiful things that you have going on in your life each and every day. I was just reading an article that was talking about people who complain. It literally changes the chemistry and the makeup of their brain. So recognizing when you are getting into that mindset and switching that patterning. Now, a few other things that have been shown to decrease stress. So I always tell people a 5-minute breathing break. This is, let's say that you're at work and you're in a stressful situation and you need to just reconnect. So 5 minutes, slowing the breath down, closing your eyes, bringing awareness to your heart, finding love and gratitude and calmness, recognizing the pattern of your thoughts. When you're getting into that, I am not enough, change that. I am great. I am strong. I am capable. I am healthy. I was able to do this today. Whatever you're proud of, remind yourself. And then get outside if you can. Now, if you work in like in a city and even outside tends to be concrete and gray, then if you can, find a green space, a small park with just green, grass, trees, flowers, plants, whatever. It will help to calm your stress levels. Now, another thing that you can do, so this is my 4th tip, and this one's super easy and fun, is to just find a viral video, something that's gone viral, that's funny. Look it up. Laugh. Laughter decreases stress instantly. So that's tip number 4, a viral video. Enjoy it, take a few minutes and just laugh, reconnect, and then come back to whatever you are working on. And the 5th tip is just mental imagery. Taking a moment, close your eyes, think about that place, wherever it is in this world, that's your happy spot, your gracious space, where you are at complete peace, and go there. Just for a few minutes, just thinking about it, whether it's the beach or the mountains or on a swing in your back porch. Go there, close your eyes, and go there. And you will feel your stress instantly drift. So hopefully by knowing why stress is so impactful for our health and easy tips that you can do to manage stress effectively and quickly, hopefully you can then start to regain a positive attitude, You know, one thing that I didn't talk about were positive affirmations, changing the conversation that you're having with yourself, even if it's at the subconscious level. So often my clients don't even recognize the conversation that they do have. And this is really important for overcoming chronic disease, overcoming chronic pain. What are you telling yourself when you do have pain? And then changing that conversation to something new, reworking that conversation. All right, my dog is coming through. I hope you all found this helpful. Have a great day.